Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Chris. Today, I wanted to ask you, what's one thing that you've actually implemented for your stock that you learned from YouTube? Me, right off the bat, when I first started stocking, I had no idea what I was doing. And the reason I started stocking, actually buying physical bullion, is because I look at investments all day. And so by chance, I had caught a video about bullion. And so I started, researching more and more about bullion and listening to different channels. And the one piece of advice I got right off the bat was, you need to get weight under your belt. Get weight, get weight, get weight. Okay, how much is enough? I had no idea. So again, watching YouTube for more advice. How much should I have? How much is enough? And the common theme at the time was everybody would say, once you get 500 ounces of silver under your belt, that's a good stack. Like, that's a good base. And so, of course, that was my original goal when I started stacking, not thinking too much about, what was that stack going to be comprised of? How much was going to premium? How much is going to actual metal? None of that mattered. It was literally just, I need to get 500 ounces under my belt. Okay. So as time passed, I started to watch more and more videos, different channels, getting different opinions, and started to see, maybe some of the things that I was buying early on weren't necessarily the best use of my money. Even though, it's not that I didn't like them, it's just more that wasn't a good use of my funds, especially with the stated goal of, building up weight, so to speak. For example, my first purchases were some APMEX generic bars, APMEX branded, in the sleeve, and I think some Silvertown bars too, off of APMEX. Again, I didn't know anything any different. Literally, the first bullion website I ever heard of was APMEX, so that's, of course, when I went to purchase. One of my second purchases was actually these guys here, these Victory at Sea, or Victory in the Pacific coins from Australia, I believe it is. And the reason I picked these was because big lover of history, big lover of particularly World War II. Anything World War II, I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So what did I buy? I bought like 30 of those. Was it a great purchase? No, because it's fractional silver. I think it's like a half ounce. And then it's like a kind of like a collectible kind of thing versus, actual bullion. But these are the kind of things that, when I look back, I wish, I would have been put into the right mindset from the get-go with things that kind of matched, my stated goal of, stacking weight. Anyway, when I look back, I ask myself, what are things that you've learned that you've actually incorporated into your stack? For example, let me give you a few. So, for example, one of the big things in stacking for investment, like if you were really serious as an investor, and of course you wanted to take advantage of the reporting requirements for taxes, a lot of people push American Silver Eagles or even Gold Eagles, because if you're going to be dealing in a large amount of money, tax reporting does count, does matter, because, depending on your preferences, you may not want Uncle Sam to know what you're doing and where, why, and how. But, depending on your relationship with the coin shop, they're definitely going to be cognizant of how much money is going through their hands from you. So eagles, again, are something that a lot of people hear about and get pointed in that direction. Now, as a slightly more seasoned stacker now, we all know that eagles are terrible as far as premiums, and they're a generic bullion coin. So at the end of the day, are you really getting your value out of putting your money into that kind of thing? Maybe, maybe not. When you consider that there are other coins that receive that same treatment as far as tax reporting, for example, the much loved or hated Philharmonic gets the same tax treatment. There's no reporting requirements on Philharmonics either, and they're much cheaper because they're much less desirable here in the United States. Now, abroad, that may be different, but here in the United States, they're definitely not a coin of choice. That is, unless you're the Potter Stackers, that is his number one coin of choice. He's done many videos on it. If you're a fan of the Potter Stackers, you know this. The Philharmonic is his go-to coin. Anyway, little things like that. These are the little tips and tricks that, if you have that knowledge, that you wish others would share with you. Same thing as, let's talk about science. Did you know that, when you think of the tide coming in and out, if you live near the beach like I do, every night and every morning you see the tide coming in, And you wonder, like, that's pretty interesting. And you've always heard, that's because, the moon pulls the water and creates the tides. Did you know that's not actually true? I'm pretty sure you didn't. So the tide's actually caused by the rotation of the earth, because the earth is oblong and it's got two big pockets at the side of the earth. So like as it rotates, basically that bigger pool of water is where you are. So that's what creates the tides wherever you are. If you're near the beach, it's not the pull of the moon and the on the water. That's actually old science. Now, does the moon have an effect on the water? Yeah, it does, but that's not the reason for the tides. Did you know that? You probably didn't. But see, if stacking videos could be that informative and teach you all of these different things so you can blow someone else's mind, that's all it takes. Then we'll all be super informed, right? If we could each share our own little bit of information with the rest of the community, we'd all be much more enlightened people all around. Anyway, that's it for right now. See you later.